Afghanistan correspondent Bernard Smith. He's live for us in Kabul. Bernard, what more details have you got at this stage about the attack?
Laura, details are still coming through to us here, although it did happen, we understand, at 3 o'clock this morning. This US soldier left his very small base in Panjwai district in Kandahar, and we understand that between, well, at least 14 people have been shot dead, maybe as many as 17. We're getting two different figures from two different Afghan sources, and we're being told that this soldier went through 3 separate houses, shooting at people as they slept in their beds. 3 separate houses, between 14 and 17 people dead, but he shot them in their houses. These would have been near to the base, I imagine, and after the soldier shot these people, he turned himself in.
Of course, it's a shocking incident to happen at any time, but this particular juncture is crucial, isn't it? Because it comes just after the US burnt Korans in one of its bases and sparked massive outrage across the nation.
Laura, yes, it is frankly disastrous. It's not just a disaster for the people who were murdered and killed in their houses, the villagers there. It is a disaster for this country, I suspect, because the Quran burnings, as you say, sparked a series of long, violent protests and riots here in Afghanistan. 41 Afghans killed during those protests. 6 US military personnel also killed as a consequence of the Quran burning. It had thought there was a small period of calm in the last week or so, but this, we're already being told that in Kandahar tensions are running high, quite understandably after this incident. So really a very, very bad situation indeed in Afghanistan at the moment, Laura.
And of course, another area this is going to impact is talks of those negotiations with the Taliban. This, of course, plays right into those hardline elements that are not interested in coming to the table.
Well, yes, I suppose it does in a way. Of course, you know, the Americans, NATO, rather, through the Americans, have issued a statement essentially saying that this is a deeply regrettable incident. But I fear that no matter what the US military says, no matter the apologies they put forward, and no matter the apologies NATO put forward, this certainly in the short term, over the next few days, is going to lead to a very destabilizing, possibly, situation here in Afghanistan as news begins to filter out to the Afghan population of what has happened down there in Kandahar. Laura.
Bernard, thanks very much for bringing us the latest reports there from Kabul on this attack. We're now going to cross over to Prince Abdul Ali Siraj. He's the president of the National Coalition for Dialogue with the Tribes of Afghanistan. Also joining us now from the capital. So your immediate reaction to news of this attack?
My immediate reaction is absolute confusion and disdain. For the last 10 years, during the ISAF operations, whenever there's been civilian casualties, and they have called it collateral damage, the people reluctantly have accepted such a statement. But today, when a young military man, American guy, goes into private homes and tries to handpick and shoot and massacre innocent civilian Afghans with no cause, without any cause, I think this is disastrous for the policies and for the ISAF policies in Afghanistan, and I'm very concerned about the reaction of the people, which I'm sure will come very shortly.
Clearly, he was a loose cannon. It was reported that he was having a nervous breakdown before the attack. Do you think that the Afghan government is going to allow this incident to impact wider relations with ISAF forces in the country?
I think the Afghan government has got responsibility to answer to its own people. And it's very difficult to try to answer to the people when a person, crazy or not crazy, to the Afghan person, it's very difficult for him to understand and distinguish between a crazy person and a non-crazy person. All they can see is one American soldier coming to their homes and killing their loved ones. This is going to have an adverse action or reaction in Afghanistan. I think, in my personal humble opinion, the way to try to calm nerves as soon as possible is to hand this person over to the Afghan government and have him be tried under Afghan law in order to be punished according to his crimes, to the crimes committed in Afghanistan. If they are to take this person out of Afghanistan to the United States in order to try him there, I think it's not going to satisfy, I don't think it will satisfy the people here. We're dealing with individuals who are living in the 15th, 16th century, and they're very much still believe in eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. And this uncalled massacre it's something, it should not have happened, and it's going to be very difficult to control unless we look at it from a logical point and let this person stand trial in Afghanistan under Afghan laws.
Okay, Prince Abdul Ali Siraj, thanks very much for joining us on Al Jazeera with your views.